This one's gonna be a little more on the positive side, um, because things actually went okay. I've been doing the TikToks regularly about what they're like 1 or 2 minute videos about like what's happening when I'm actually in the courtroom, and I basically just I'm surrounded by people, so I usually try to keep my videos very short. Like this is what's about to happen, or this is what I'm waiting for. I obviously wouldn't do a video about like how long I'm waiting for. You would never want to see a video of me just waiting to see someone. That would be probably the boringest thing you ever saw. Um, but no, the thing about it is things actually turned out better. Better, yeah, better. Um, so I was waiting. Obviously, I'm in family court. I'm always going to wait. But things were actually difficult. Um, so I showed up for court, and my ex-wife did not show up. She forgot. So I had to go through like several different avenues just to get in contact with her, um, because I didn't have enough proof to show that my ex-wife had been letting me see my son, kind of regularly. And so that was the case that basically that the judge was saying is like, by the way, your I can't approve of your hours unless your ex-wife approves of these things. And I really didn't want to collect a lot of hard evidence, showing like how toxic my ex-wife is. Um, but yeah, I went to like three different avenues. I called her on my phone. I used talking parents. I knew she wasn't gonna check. I even called her on my son's phone, which he left here, um, just to see, because the judge said call her. So I called her. I texted her. I said, hey, can you? The judge is trying to get a hold of you. I finally got a hold of her when my brother called her, because he calls because he's the only one, he's mediating. But it's not he's not a court ordered mediator. He's just doing it. And the thing about it is my ex-wife is only approving because she told me, it's like, because I respect him. And yeah, I get that she respects him, but you there's a court order that literally says you have to speak to me through talking parents. It doesn't say that you can only talk to people that you respect. Um, but yeah, that's Laura's rules, and I don't know what's going to happen with my ex-wife. But I have two court dates. One is a court date, one is a hearing, and one is like this thing where like two. I guess we're gonna be in a room, and we're gonna have like some people that represent a judge, but they're not gonna be judges. And I think what's gonna happen is we're gonna try to talk about scheduling visitation, because this restraining order is getting like really stupid. Um, and it's obvious that she's like weaponizing this restraining order. And I feel like these are all the things that I'm gonna have to bring to light uh, during this meeting, because when I was at the when I was at this particular court date, it was about my um, getting my visitation rights adjusted. And what had been happening already was that had been my son had been coming over every other week from Saturday to Sunday. From basically, I had him for a total of about 24 hours every other weekend. And she confirmed this. She confirmed it like several, like for like 2 months in a row. It was like I've been seeing my son every other week in at whenever my brother would have his girls. So what the judge basically figured out was that, okay, he has about 48 hours a month. 24 hours every 2 weeks. And so I would have 24 hours on my visitations. But the limitations of that is now the court ordered supervisors are off the table. It's like basically it's like okay, but it's like because my ex-wife was trying to say, well, he needs to pay for a court ordered supervisor if he wants to see his son, and he's like, actually, no, he can't. There are no court orders. There are no court ordered supervisors that are going to supervise your husband for 24 hours. There are none. There's not going to be one court order that's gonna watch him overnight. So that's off the table. So you can forget about a court order. You need to find someone, and you need to put some more people on this list. And because you're not going to just shut him out of your son's life, he deserves to see his kids. He deserves to see his son. and she was like, I'm not saying that he doesn't, but he needs to get a court order supervisor. I was like, well, there's no one that's going to see him since you've been letting him see him for so long. There are now no longer any court order supervisors that will work for that long. So it's not a matter. So basically, it's not a matter of money. It's a matter of inconvenience. Because yeah, and we didn't want to inconvenience our son and change the schedule. What has been going on so far, but now outside of my Laura, so my ex-wife, my ex-wife, did what's it called? She did she did schedule for so I only see him for every 2 hours, and she did let me see him every other weekend. This was basically her idea, and when she got on a stand and they called her, and then she's like, have you been letting him see your son for a while, like every other weekend? I said, yes, I have. It's like, okay, well, now court order supervisors are off the table. You can't use that anymore. You have to get someone on this list, and in a few months, it was like from April 22nd. That's a long time from now. You're going to have another one, and you're going to have to get some more people on this list, or you're going to just have to accept that he's not going to be supervised anymore. And my restraining order expires in May, and I don't know what pretenses. I have a feeling that like on May 1st, she's just going to get a temporary one, and you don't need evidence. Like you don't need evidence for to get a temporary restraining order. You can just make something up and they'll give them to you. But whether they're made permanent, that's what you have to go to court for. And my ex-wife is basically saying, I'm going to push for a permanent restraining order, so you never can come near me. And the only time you're going to see your son is if you pay a court order supervisor for 4 hours, and that's it. Those are the threats that my ex-wife has been making toward me. This is a very high conflict divorce, and yeah, I was like, it's kind of funny when we were together. It's like we said we weren't going to do this, but hell, man, we are fighting for custody. We are fighting for money, and we are not. I mean, we were together for 12 years, and we hate each other. I mean, seriously, we hate each other. I mean, I have my ex-wife, my son said that, I don't know if this is true, but he said that she broke up with his boyfriend, and she broke up with her boyfriend, and I think that might be true, or maybe she's just getting ghosted, or maybe I don't know, but I think they're still working together, to be honest with you, because she's still working at the school, and I think it might have been a story, but maybe I don't know. My son will lie to me. My son will lie about a lot of things, especially when it comes to partners, like I didn't ask like I was with my girlfriend, my son, and before you get all hanky panky about before you get all judgmental about this, about me introducing my son to my new girlfriend. I've been seeing it for about a year now, so I thought it was safe. I would think it's safe by now. But yeah, I didn't introduce her until like 6 months into the relationship. And so when we were out to dinner, we were out to breakfast, and I was like, and Nathan was eating his kid's meal, and I was eating with her. And on the way back, my ex-wife calls, and she's like, "Who are you with?" I just got back from breakfast. I was like, "Well, who are you with?" I was like, "Well, I'm with Kat." And I was like, I'm with my dad. I'm just with my dad." And I'm like, "You can tell her." I was like, "You can tell her that I'm with Kat. Just oh yeah." And she said, "Are you lying to me?" And I was like, "Yeah, don't lie to your mom. You can tell her that Kat is with us. It's no big deal." And but yeah, it's like for some reason, I was like, "Well, why are you?" And she comes on mine. It's like, "Why are you telling him to lie?" I was like, "I didn't tell him to lie." I didn't tell him to lie. That's your thing. That you're the one who makes him lie about you know significant others. Like I don't care. I was like, I've been dating for a year. I Nathan knows him. I don't. You can meet her one day. you know, it's not a big deal to me because I'm not afraid of you. If you're the one who's afraid of me, that's why you won't introduce me to your new boyfriend. That's and and yeah, I don't really want to meet him, and I don't think she wants to really meet Kat. But I'm just saying is like if you did, that'd be fine. I'd be okay with it. But yeah, now things are less. What I had before was um, what I had before was like every week on Wednesday from 1 to 3 every week, and every other week for 4 hours from 1 to 5, and that was kind of hard to do. It suit the court's supervisor's schedule. That's I guess that's something like that's ideal for a court order supervisor to have. If you get a restraining order, it's like this is ideal. This is what a court ordered supervisor wants. But that was expensive, and it was difficult to do that. It really inconvenienced me a lot. But it's like there were times where I basically had Nathan the whole day, and I was picking him up. There was times where I would see him like 2 to 3 times a week, just for to pick him up and go to basketball. I would take him places, and I'd buy him shoes, And there was a couple times where there was like a day on I even got to take him trick or treating. That was fun. But these were all times when me and my ex-wife were on good terms. But we hit a torrent. We hit a point where I. So my therapist talked about it, and when me and her were on good terms, like we were acting like we were friends. I like my therapist says like I think you still like her. You still like her, and I was like, no, I don't. I don't like her. She's just Laura. I was like, and I'm trying to be a good dad, and she's trying to be a good mom, and we're trying to get along. And you know what? We're getting along. It's fine. And and she goes over and she does something really messed up. I went to go see my son. He's like, hey, can you go and you buy my son some shoes? And I was like, sure. There's a deal. There's a few deals like for like 1 for 2. Like you buy one, you get the next one half off. And I was asking him, I was like, so I was sending my son. And I was like, so let me see the shoes. And I said, well, how about this? He will pick out a pair of shoes that he wants, and then you can pick out a pair of shoes that you want him to have. And I said, well, okay, well, let me see the shoes then. And the thing about it is, and I don't think this was intentional, But when I flipped the camera over from the selfie camera to the front camera, I saw what the video was giving me. And basically what I saw was my ex-wife with her lover right next to her. He was looking at the phone like this, and he was like, his head was right here, and I saw that, and he like put a blanket over him, and I was like, wow, you really had to fucking do this like right in the middle of fucking intercourse. You couldn't just wait. So I was upset about that, and I was hitting my hand against the fucking chair, and I was trying, and I was scaring the crap out of my son, and yeah, I was just really mad and upset. And when I dropped him off, she showed up with just a towel, and it was clear that she was love bombing this guy, and it hurt. It really hurt, and I kind of realized that that my therapist was right. You still like her, you're still in love with her, and I sent her a message saying, "Hey, don't do that to me again. Don't, you know, if you come out like, don't FaceTime me naked. Don't FaceTime me naked. Don't come out with just a towel. When I come by, I just put something decent on, because that was really messed up. I get that you moved on, but you don't have to throw it in my face like that." And she said, "You don't get to." She basically texted me, like, "You don't get to tell me what I can and can't do in my house. I can do whatever I want." And I was like, "Well, I just thought it was rude for you to do that. Like, how would you feel if you went to your boss's house and he showed up, and because he told you to bring some documents, and he showed up with just a towel? How would you feel?" I was like, that you would probably think is like, you probably say, "Don't invite me to your house, and don't come out in a towel again." That was extremely disrespectful, and I was very uncomfortable. Oh, and for Christ's sakes, there was the sex, and yeah, that was a waking point, and that's from that point on. Me and Laura, we were no longer friends, um, and because from that point, because when I brought it up the next day, she was saying, "Is like, I don't know what you're talking about." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And it's like, "Well, all these things you're saying, I don't, I didn't do that. I didn't walk out and tell. You imagine it, and I think you need to go see a doctor." And I was like, "Shit, seriously?" So she's like, I was like, "Seriously, you're seriously gaslighting me like this? It's like, I obviously heard you. I obviously saw you. I obviously saw you in a towel. Vicky obviously saw you in a towel. So I don't know why you're saying that I imagine it." And I talked to my sister-in-law, and it was like, "Can you?" And I was like, "Can you believe what Laura's?" I was like, "Can you see this? Can you see what your sister's saying? She's saying I'm delusional. You were there." And I was like, "I don't want." It's like, "Well, I didn't see her in any towel, and I didn't see her do anything, and I didn't see her with anyone." I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, she got you in it too." So yeah, that's. I mean, that's like an real immature level of gaslighting, and it was like, I know I'm not crazy, but I was really pissed off. So yeah, I'm just like, but I was like, I think that December, I that's when I met my new girlfriend, and we hit it off really well. And that whole thing was 2 years. It was about a year and a half ago. I've been seeing her for like a year now, and now I have more custody. I have more visitation rights. I don't have this weird schedule that's 1 hour here and 4 hours here. I have a full 24 hours every other weekend, which is a total of 48 hours a week, 48 hours a month, seeing my son. And I hope it's more. I really hope it's more. Um, because ideally, I would like it if I saw my son from from Friday to Monday. And I'm not saying that I want to see him from Friday and Monday every weekend. I'm just saying I want that window from Friday to Monday to be able to see him for maybe like 2 days, or maybe if mommy's not busy, then I can, it's like, well, I could take him on a Friday if there's a holiday, and that would be good too. He can stay with me for a little bit long, but it's like I would just like that open window. If there was something that I could do, maybe I can pick him up from school and drop him off on Monday, or maybe I can just pick him up on Monday morning and drop him off like Tuesday morning. That, I mean, if there was a 4-day weekend or a 3-day weekend, that's what the window is for, and that's what I'm going to ask for when I have this new hearing or new appointment, because I want to see my son. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing I want to do. Because if I see my son, it's good. He can get to know me. Because I don't know what's going to happen. If he gets like 12 years old, I was like, that I was like, I like to tell him, like, those 2 years, I wanted to see you like the whole time, but your mother did this. Your mother just stonewalled me and tried to replace me and tried to get this new guy, integrated in your life. And, I didn't know all the details at the time, and I thought it was really messed up. But I'm like, when I found out more details, it's like, I really don't want anything to do with her. I really don't. She cheated on me with a coworker. It's like I was thinking there was like a Tinder, like she got on Tinder and she was going on dates while she was gone. But yeah, it was a fucking coworker, and it's like when I realized that, I realized it was going on for a long time, like way way before, like a good 6 months, like at the start of the school year, and I don't know if there was flirting. I don't know if there was kissing. I don't know if there was dating. I don't know if there was sex. But yeah, it started way, way before she just lost her marbles and went to Cancun with this guy and with my money. But it's over, and I'm okay with it, and I don't feel bad about it anymore. I just want to see my son, and I don't really want to see her. I have like zero respect for her at this point. Because her behavior, I mean, it's just really bad. It's just really bad. But let's see. I don't know if I'm gonna make another video like this for a while. Like I said, I have another court date. I'm probably gonna be more focused on school. Um, I have topography and I have critical thinking. I know it's not full time; it's half time, but I really need to be focused on that because But I'm just glad this part is over. I don't. This is like serious progress. Like, because I've been stuck in this hole for almost a year and a half of just being at my ex-wife's whim. Whereas, like, if you want to see your son, then you better come, like right now. Um, or it's like, or you like. There were times where he dropped me. Was like, well, I'm only gonna let him have you for it. She would call me over and says, well, come over and you can see your son. I was like, okay, you got an hour. And I was like, you made me drive all the way from freaking Santee just to see him for an hour. Don't do that again. But yeah, just like, I mean, there were times where it was clearly like she wanted me to take Nathan for a booty call. It was annoying. It was really annoying. I don't know. I might go in depth about the whole thing, like, but I would have to schedule a little better. Right now, my mind is a mess, and if I were to make like a video about how things started, I would want to make I'm gonna make like a timeline. Like, this is when this happened, this one, this and this one happened. Right now, my mind's a fucking mess, but I'm also in a better mood because I made some fucking progress. So yeah, I hope I hope dads can get better rights because it's been a hard road, but hopefully it'll get better.